Hey, it's Carolyn Grimm with Nonprofit Financial Mastery. Today we're going to talk about in-kind donations. So let's jump into that. So what exactly is an in-kind donation? It's a non-cash contribution to your nonprofit. Could be goods, services, use of property. It's just as valuable as cash because it means that the nonprofit does not have to spend cash to get that good, service, or property. So let's talk about some examples of those three categories. So an example of goods might be you get a donation of computers or furniture or building materials. For services, it could be legal advice, could be marketing support, could be website design, could even be, say, nonprofit accounting videos. You're welcome. Use of property could be things like someone sharing office space with another nonprofit. It could be the donation or partial donation of an event venue or storage space for your nonprofit. Now, why is it important? Well, what in-kind donations do is they allow a nonprofit to stretch their budget. So instead of having to pay for storage space, maybe you're getting that as a donation. It also demonstrates that the community supports you. So if you have a local building supply company and they donate materials for you to build the new dog yard at your animal shelter, it's showing that you have support in your community, and those relationships are super important. It also allows you to enhance your programs. So you're able to do more without having to get more cash in the door. So for example, if you're a land trust and you have a lawyer who is able to do some legal work for you pro bono, that means that you're able to do more without having to go out and raise more funds. It also provides people with another means of supporting the organization. Maybe I'm a retiree on a fixed budget and I don't have any cash that I can give to an organization, but maybe I can come out and work in your thrift shop for a few hours a week. That is an in-kind donation. I am donating my time. And of course, volunteer hours have a tremendous value to any nonprofit organization. Now, when we're tracking in-kind donations, what we're looking for is generally going to be fair market value. What is the fair market value that we would have had to pay in order to get that service? Or what is the fair market value of that donation to our thrift shop that we got? And then, of course, because we want to be transparent about how we're doing things, we're going to document this. So we're going to document the who, the what, the when, the why, and the how the value was determined. Who donated it, what it was, when it was donated, why it was donated. So for example, if there's a restriction on it, and how was the value determined? We determined fair market value on those building materials because they gave us a printout of what it would have cost us if we had had to buy it. Or we valued that accountant's time based on what it would have cost us if they had charged us the full price. So fair market value is going to be based on some sort of reasonable number. So if we're talking about goods, it's reasonable value, what it would have cost us to buy those building materials outright. Or if the donations to our thrift shop were being priced out at what they would have sold for at a yard sale. So we're going to find a fair market value based on a reasonable value for those goods. If we're talking about services, maybe it's that lawyer who's donating their time, we're going to be looking at the usual rate that what would we have to pay in order to get that service. That's how we're going to value it. And if we're talking about the use of property, it's going to be an estimated value. So if it's something like storage space, somebody is allowing us to store our goods in their warehouse or in their storage unit, we can come up with a reasonable number based on price per square footage, for example. When we're recording those in-kind donations, it's typically recorded as both a revenue and an expense. Or if we're buying an asset of some type, it would be a revenue and an asset. So what that means is we're saying that we received the value of this expense. We received those building materials and we're recording the value of that donation as revenue. And again, in-kind donations can get complicated. So for your specific situation, you want to talk to your accountant who is familiar with your specific way of doing things or the way you should be doing things. As always, tracking is really important. So we want to make sure that we are doing things accurately and with transparency. If we don't track those in-kind donations, we we don't track our volunteers' time, for example, it understates the value that we are receiving. It's also important when we have an audit that those things are captured, and making sure that that fair market value is a reasonable valuation for those goods or services or the property. It's also really important to have this when we go to do, say, a grant application, because it shows community support. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.